Welcome back, Hortlings, to Two Bitches Fighting on a Bar. I mean, Tales of Monkey Island. Let's see if we can talk these girls out of it.
Ladies, please. There's plenty of Guybrush Threepwood to go around.
Well, that won't be when I'm done with you. Get over yourself, Threepwood.
Yikes. Elaine, Tucklebear. Morgan's all bark and no bite.
You want bite? Ugh, you got it. And I'll throw in the bark for free. Huh? Good-for-nothing words getting in the way of my killing.
Honey, you are formally summoned to appear before the court of Judge Grindstump in the case of the people of Flotsam versus Guybrush Threepwood, Mighty Pirate. TM.
Phew. Now I know who wears the daddy pants in the relationship. You stay away from my boy's pants, or I'll hang you from my Jolly Roger, you Jezebel! And you, don't think you can totter around with some tart and not get a fistful of what? She's a catch.
And conveniently not a rotten double-crosser.
I told you I had a job to do.
Sure, just doing your job. Tell me, aside from all the silver, how are the benefits?
Guybrush.
Do you get health care for the repetitive stress injuries caused by all the backstabbing and cutting off people's hands?
I said I was sorry.
Sorry? I can't pick my left nostril without risking a lobotomy.
What if
What if nothing? Goodbye, Morgan. I've got a wife to cure and an island to save. Mrs. Threepwood. Please tell the court how this horrible pox is all LeChuck's fault.
LeChuck? That stick in the mud wouldn't know a good pox if it kicked him in the fundament. Heck, there wouldn't even be a pox if you'd gone through with the voodoo lady's recipe properly. But no, you had to wave that root beer bottle around like some sort of conquering hero. Oh, look at me! I be Guybrush Threepwood, mighty pirate! Next thing I know, you're trying to replace root beer with root grog and bam! Pox all over the place. Not that I'm complaining, mind you.
Okay. Honey, why don't you please tell everyone how I've been trying to find a cure for the pox?
Don't you honey me, you two-timing cannon scrubber. I bet all this talk of looking for La Esponja Grande was all plot to spend time canoodling with your little privateering she-slag.
La Esponja Grande, yes, it's right over there, see?
Sure it is.
You didn't even bang yet.
Could you give the court some idea of what a fine, upstanding pirate your husband is?
Well, let's see. When I first met him, he was breaking into my mansion to steal a statue. Later, after shanghaiing a crew to take him to Monkey Island, he totally failed to rescue me from the evil clutches of the ghost pirate LeChuck, so I had to dress up a couple of monkeys in a bridal gown.
This may have been a bad line of questioning.
Then he left me hanging over a pit while he went looking for the treasure of Big Whoop. I didn't hear from him for 3 years after that. Turned me into a bleeding statue. Left the seat up. Oh, and that's not even mentioning all the times I found myself tied up, manacled, or otherwise incarcerated because of his blithering idiocy!
You're too good for him, love.
Shave his belly with a rusty razor.
I'd like a second to think about my next move, Your Honor.
Make it fast! Your character witness is oozing all over my courtroom.
Your Honor, Buccaneers of Flotsam, you all believe that I, Guybrush Threepwood, Mighty Pirate, have brought this horrible pox to your shores.
Off with his
Run
head!
him off
Feed
the
him
plank!
to the jungle beast!
What if I were to tell you that I could tame this unruly witness, prove my good intentions, and begin the process of curing you all of this hideous voodoo pox, all in one fell swoop?
This isn't so bad.
I don't know.
Feed him
Maybe.
to the jungle beast!
Your Honor, I object. Defense is grasping at sponge-shaped straws here.
Denied! But get on with it, Captain. The hangman gets overtime if we keep him up after midnight.
With pleasure, Your Honor. Wenches and pirates, I give you Exhibit S, the wonder of La Esponja Grande.
I thought it'd be bigger.
Now behold, as a simple exfoliating motion of La Esponja Grande washes away the pox, restoring my wife to her usual, mostly pleasant demeanor. Sugar cakes?
Off with his head!
Get that piece of seaweed off me, you deep-sea doily diver!
Does the defense have any other pointless arguments it would like to make?
This is sort of all I got.
Then, by the power vested in me by the put-upon pirates of Flotsam Island, I summarily sentence you to be hanged by your pox-spreading neck until you are... Right there.
What? Woof.
What is the meaning of this?
My name is LeChuck, and I can tell you exactly what Guybrush did.
Chuck, I thought he was a ghost.
I heard he was a zombie.
Don't listen to him!
You see, Your Honor, the pox is all my fault.
Listen to him!
For decades, I dabbled in the dark forces of voodoo, clamoring for power. I hungered for it. I yearned for it. I pillaged, plundered, and killed for it.
I can attest to all of this.
And it was my accumulated voodoo that infected you all. Dark, evil voodoo that was explosively released when I was once again defeated by the perpetually heroic Guybrush Threepwood.
He's not kidding. I've killed him like 5 times.
So you see, Guybrush Threepwood is not the source of this pox. I am. And I hereby throw myself upon the mercy of this court, or lack thereof.
Off with your head!
But wait, there's more. It turns out I had an unknown silent power urging me down those darkened voodoo corridors. A power far more insidious than I could ever hope to be. I submit to the court this journal, property of the...
Quiet up there!
the Voodoo Lady.
Ooh, that creepy lady who lives in the shack?
What the what?
In these pages, you will find detailed plans laid out by the Voodoo Lady over the course of many years to manipulate my never-ending rise to power, my hunger for voodoo, my seemingly endless cycle of ironically comical death and disturbing resurrection, my obsession with the darling Elaine. It's all because of her.
Off with her head!
Lead him to the jungle beast!
It can't be true. Can it?
Order! Order! I hereby call for the release of Guybrush Threepwood and the immediate imprisonment of LeChuck and the Voodoo Lady! To the brig with both of them!
I've had it up to me eye patch with all this land-loving lollygagging. I'm off to plunder me some treasure.
Don't worry about me, my friend. Go cure your wife.
Well, I'm finally free, but now my pox-crazed wife is nowhere to be found. A mad scientist is hunting her for who knows what reason, and the legendary voodoo sponge that was supposed to cure her has turned out to be useless. Under normal circumstances, I'd ask the voodoo lady for help, but she's sitting in the jail cell next to my archenemy, who may or may not be my best friend, after it's been revealed that she has been the secret power behind most of my travails over most of my life as a pirate. Maybe I should have been a beekeeper like my Uncle Sid.
All right. Well, even LeChuck in jail and the Voodoo Lady in jail, what the fuck is next?
Hey, you!
Hello, Threepwood.
You sent me on a wild albatross chase for La Esponja Grande and promised me it would cure the pox. But after fending off sexually ambiguous merpeople, a giant manatee, and your crazy ex-boyfriend, what do I get for my trouble? This sorry excuse for a kitchen sponge.
La Esponja.
I notice you strategically left out the Grande from this worthless piece of junk. Once it cured my piddly leftover pox, it didn't have enough mojo left to cure Elaine.
It's not worthless. It is merely young. It must be brought to maturity in order to reach its voodoo-absorbing potential.
Brought to maturity? How am I supposed to do that? Give it a talk about the sponge birds and sponge bees?
Like all infants, La Esponja needs nourishment. It must be fed 6 special voodoo courses to bring it to adult size.
What sort of meal is that?
A feast for the senses. The menu, Threepwood. Take it, and serve the sponge a meal unlike any other.
And then?
It will grow.
Hey, neat. There's a map of the Flotsam Jungle on the cover. No more listening to bees and birds and boars for this mighty pirate.
Thank God. All right. Voodoo feast and 6 courses guaranteed to embiggen the smallest beastie. First course, put on a napkin that's a sight, a garish cloth, grotesquely bright. Once completed in order, your wee beastie will grow to maturity. Substitutions encouraged.
That's odd.
You can fold it up and all kinds of stuff. Second course, antipasta. Jungle meat gives off a smell like stinky feet. Third course, before the main course, cleanse your palate with the taste that hits you like a mallet. Fourth course, the main course will cause quite a flap. To find the 6th sense, use your fucking map. Fifth course, now engorge a small dessert. A touch so shocking it might hurt. Shocker, that's not the shocker. 6th course, your meal is finished, let out a cheer. Or belch so loud, all the hoodlums can hear. Alright, so. Sight. Come back to this side.
I better fold this up before I put it in my pocket.
Yeah, you should, dickhead.
You! Again!
Hello, Threepwood.
So, when I was with Dakava, you might have felt something strange happen.
Ah, you are no doubt alluding to your brief possession of my physical form.
Ha! How did it feel to be the Manipulate Ted instead of the Manipulator for once?
It was curiously liberating.
You're weird. About this feast for the senses,
What would you like to know?
the first course in the feast for the senses, the napkin. What's up with that?
The table must be set with an eye-catching napkin to entice the sponge's hunger.
Okay.
The antipasta? Explain.
With the table set, a powerful aroma must encourage the appetite to grow.
I think my nose has been in shock since traversing the inside of a manatee.
I'm sure you will find something.
Can you tell me about the palate cleanser?
Before the main course, the palate must be scalded clean by a powerful taste.
Try ginger.
Ooh, like grog?
No, not at all like grog.
It says here that course 4, the main course, is the 6th sense. That doesn't even make sense.
Ah, but it does. For where the other 5 senses are limited to the finite experiences of the present, the 6th sense satiates the appetite for the infinite possibilities of the future.
The future? How do I feed something the future?
You already hold the answer to that question.
This 6th sense business is all pretty abstract.
You must find something that will allow the sponge to sense the future. As I said, you already possess the key to finding it.
What about the dessert? This is one hungry sponge.
Ah, what is your favorite thing about dessert, Guybrush?
Running out before the check arrives?
No, it is
Eating
the
it off of a
pleasurable
girl's
shock
body?
of something different.
Ah. All right, enough about the feast for now. Try not to get executed before I cure Elaine.
As you wish.
LeChuck!
Guybrush!
I would have bet my good hand I'd never say this, but thank you
For what? I've caused you nothing but despair.
for taking the fall back there, and for exposing the voodoo lady. I don't know what to make of any of it, but now I can focus on saving Elaine and dealing with the pox.
It is the very least I could do. But be careful, Guybrush.
I'm always careful.
This from the guy who proposed to his wife with a cursed engagement ring you stole from my hold?
Is that a dig? Is the evil demon pirate LeChuck developing a sense of humor? This is weird. I can't believe the voodoo lady has been pulling your ghostly / demonic strings all these years.
It came as a shock to me as well. But her diary spells it all out. You, me, Elaine, we're all part of the voodoo lady's malevolent plans.
Malevolence is in the eye of the beholder, Guybrush Threepwood. I know this is difficult to understand, but things are not as they seem.
No, things seem remarkably convoluted, which is what I've come to expect from you.
I've always had your best interests at heart.
Well, what about my interests? Without your meddling, I could have lived a normal, happy pirate's life.
Ha! The destiny of LeChuck has never been normal.
How about the mountain of ice on the roller coaster of the damned? She was behind that?
Especially that.
What a bitch.
Sit tight, buddy. Once I save Elaine, you're next.
Don't worry about me.
Saving LeChuck, never thought I'd see the day. Oh, we've got some new toys.
Stan!
Threepwood! No hard feelings over all those various civil and criminal charges?
Water under the bridge.
Great.
A bridge with a fast-talking shyster / salesman dangling from it. What kind of souvenirs could you possibly be making out of the voodoo lady and LeChuck?
Oh, ye of little faith! Feast your eyes on the all-new People vs. LeChuck and the Voodoo Lady collection!
What's that?
It's my entrancing Voodoo Lady dashboard good luck charm.
Disturbing. What's that one?
That's our cursed cutlass of Cthulhu LeChuck doll. Press the button for its special transforming glow.
What's happening?
It's a little bright.
Yeah, we're still working out a few kinks.
I dig it.
What's this?
That's a little decorative pin I've whipped up.
Trial of the Century 2. Electric Voodoo.
We're still working on a title.
On second thought,
Say no.
I don't suppose you'd be willing to sell me your eye-bending jacket.
Give up my jacket? That'd be like Samson getting a buzz cut, or King Arthur losing Excalibur, or Bluebeard dyeing himself blonde.
Huh?
Without my jacket, my salesman mojo would wither away faster than a hothouse orchid in a pizza oven.
So that's a maybe? Sure you don't want to sell me your pupil-defying jacket? It's for a good cause.
This jacket stays with Stan until it literally falls off my back, Threepwood.
All right. It would make a great tablecloth, that's all I'm saying. What's this skinny douche doing now?
What was that? Huh. Something sure shoved a short sword up his aft sail.
Whoa. That was a good time to steal shit from his mansion.
What the? Morgan!
Oh no.
What happened?
I never got to hit that.
To get your hand.
You didn't have to do that.
Had to pay you back for all the trouble.
found Jacques. He told me.
What?
He told me.
What? What did the monkey tell you?
Oh no, she passed out.
Singe. Lepidoptera flotzimus accelerus. Like many of its more common cousins, the sharp-toothed flotsam island moth has a penchant for noshing on articles of clothing. Where Flotzimus accelerus differs is in the pain of its bites, which can be quite annoying, and the rapidity of its meals. A swarm of flotsam moths can strip a man down to his undergarments in mere seconds, assuming the notoriously finicky moths approve of his wardrobe, of course. This must have been broken in the fight between Morgan and DeSinge. I hope the vole escaped. Vampiridae flotzimus sucrosus, the flotsam jungle firefly, are a common sight in flotsam's jungles, which they never leave. Although possessing no natural enemies, the flotzimus sucrosus has a notorious sweet tooth, drawing it inexorably to bodies of sugar water. It looks like DeSinge is using my hand to make something called the jus de vie.
It's juice of life.
The Vacalian wind control device? What is that creep doing with it now? It's locked. Oh no. This is where the Marquis keeps all the severed limbs of the pirates he's operated on. Hey, you never know when a sack of severed legs is gonna come in handy. Or footy, as the case may be. Sorry.
I'm not laughing at that. Jungle, baby. I'm gonna die.
Eighteen, 19, 20, and X marks the... When I get me hands on that plaid-coated scallywag, I'm gonna rip off his waving arms and beat him to a briny pulp with him. What are you looking at?
The secret to eternal life. Le spectre de Grand César!
Doesn't look like Elaine's in any immediate danger. Hopefully she won't commit any unforgivable atrocities before I finish enlarging my pox-curing sponge.
Pistol Libre's journal. Despite repeated efforts to lace bait with tracking elements, beast spore remains indistinguishable from jungle floor. Well, if only the beast left a path as bright as Flotsam's beautiful jungle fireflies. Wait, what's that smell? Ah.
It's like a whole new map now. What in the name of Bluebeard's hair dye?
Hey, no poaching. I have called dibs.
I think I may be lost. Shouldn't there be a creepy voodoo shack right about there?
There was, until they came to arrest that pox-spreading voodoo lady.
What happened?
First came the flames. Poor Senor Nipperkin went up like St. Elmo's fire. Then she emerged from the conflagration, mumbling ancient curses with every regal step. I never forget the baleful stare she fixed me with as she was led away. A look condemning me to a lifetime of suffering, shame, and regret.
Spooky.
And if that wasn't bad enough, I haven't found one bit of cool voodoo stuff in the wreckage. Come on!
Mob justice can be so unfair. Whoa! Uh-oh. Looks like these finicky moths won't eat a jacket that's encrusted with bacon grease, fish water, and manatee guts. Lucky me.
I know a jacket they might like.
Alright, little fellas, check out these high-def duds. Well, that's just great. The lamp's dead. Well, at least Stan's sign is keeping the moths from returning to the jungle. Stan!
Guybrush, old pal!
Can I take another look at your voodoo lady and the Chuck Goo-Gaws?
Can't keep your eyes off him, huh?
What's that one?
That's our cursed cutlass of Kaflu, LeChuck doll. Press the button for its special transforming glow.
What's happening?
It's a little bright.
Yeah, we're still working out a few kinks. Hey now, what's this? A fuzzy flying fan club? Ah! Hey, knock it off, you nutty nibblers! That hurts! Sweet, fancy, Moses! Ow! Ouch! Well, That was one heck of an experience, eh, Threepwood? It's a good thing old Stan always keeps a few spare jackets in the back office, or I'd be defending my clients in the Altogether. Say, that's not a bad idea. Stan S. Stanman, naked attorney at law. You've got nothing to hide, and neither does he. No time to chat, Threepwood. I've got business cards to print.
All right, we'll grab the remains of Stan's jacket.
You know, when I dreamed of becoming a mighty pirate, I never imagined that one day I'd be tying eye-popping napkins around the non-existent necks of mystical sponges.
Yeah, I didn't think I'd be doing that shit either. Or controlling and telling someone to. But anyways, we still have course 2 through 6 to complete. So stay tuned. We'll get back to it soon. Thanks for watching.